Chapter 15, Lesson 2. We're going to be dividing by decimals, but now we're going to have to estimate, and we want to try to get them to look the same as they did in Lesson 1, with just zeros. That way they can go into each other evenly. So we have 257 divided by 48. First thing we want to do is we want to look at the second number. We don't want to pay any attention to that number. We want to just look at the 48. And at 48 we can either move it up to a 50 or bring it down to a 40. So since 48 is closer to 50, we'll go ahead and move it there. But that's not always going to be the case, and I'll explain a little bit later. Now we want to round or estimate 257. What we want is for this number right here to go in evenly into that one. So by not looking at the 0 and just looking at the 5, we know that 5 can go into 25 5 times. So we want to make this 250. I know they're going to want to make it 260, but 260 divided by 50 is not going to work because 5 cannot go into 26. So we want to do what we did back in Lesson 1. Cross out the zeros, and 5 goes into 25 5 times. So we rewrite it, we want it to look like this. 250 divided by 50. Cross out the zeros, and 5 goes into 25 5 times. Next we have 3,489 divided by 67. So the first thing we want to do is look at the 67. Do we want to make that a 70 or a 60? So 67 is closer to 70. So now I want to see what can 7 go into evenly. Can 7 go into 34? No. Can 7 go into 36? No. Can 7 go into 35? Yes. 7 cannot go into 34 or 36, but it can go into 35. So I'm going to estimate 3,489 to 35,000. So when I rewrite my problem, it's going to look like this. Now I can work it out and do what I did back in Lesson 1. Cross out 1 0 here, cross out 1 there. 7 goes into 35 5 times, and I still have that 0, so the answer would be 50. So here's one that's a good example of what I mean, that you're not always going to raise the number up. So we got 39. So that is closer to 40, not 30. So we're going to make this 40. Now we want to see what number the 4 can go into evenly. Okay, so we're looking at just this number right here. So 4 cannot go into 37. 4 cannot go into 38, but 4 can go into 36. So I know that the kids probably want to raise this up to 3,800, but 4 cannot go into 3,800. So we want to round off or estimate 3,786 as 36,000. Because now we know that 4 can go into 36 evenly. Cross out the 0. 4 into 36 goes 9. And then we have a 0 left over, so the answer would be 90. Had you made this 40 into 3,800, you would have had remainders and had to add zeros, and we don't want to do that. We want to just cross out the zeros, like we did down here, and make it easy for you guys. So here's a pretty big one, 76,888 divided by 44. So looking at 44, I know that I can estimate 44 as 40. Now I'm looking at just 76, not the rest of it. 4 cannot go into 76, 4 can't go into 77, but I know that 4 can go into 8. So I'm going to round off 76 to 80, which means I have to make the rest of these guys zeros. So now my problem is 80,000 divided by 40. So cross out that 0, this 0. 4 goes into 8 2 times. And I still have 1, 2, 3 zeros left. So my answer would be 2,000. Again, they're big numbers and they do seem kind of difficult, but if you just look to see what number can this go into evenly, it makes it a lot easier. Let's take a look at your homework. Number 1, we have 177 divided by 36. 177 divided by 36. So I'm looking at the numbers, and again, I just want to look at these two numbers and this number. See, so 3 cannot go into 17. 3 can go into 15. 3 can go into 16. So let's go ahead and... I'm sorry, 3 can't go into 16. 3 can go into 18, not 16, but it can also go into 15. Since 177 is closer to 180, we can go ahead and do that. So 36 will be estimated at 30, and 177 will be estimated at 180. So again, we want to get rid of the zeros. And 3 goes into 18 6 times. And that'll be your answer. Now I know that we could also possibly say that 177 divided by 36, we might say, well, 3 can become a 40, and this could become 16. And we could say the answer is also 4. So it's kind of tricky. On the test, they won't give you 6 and 4. If you did it this way and you got 4, but the answer is not on the test, then you have to reevaluate what you estimated and try to come up with a different answer. So that's why we got 6 for number 1. Let's go ahead and try another one. Number 2, we got 915 divided by 89. So I'm looking at this number, looking at that, and I know I can estimate 89 as 90. So now I'm thinking, okay, what can 9 go into evenly? And 9 can go into 9 evenly. So I'm going to change 915 to 900. So I get rid of 1 0, that 0. 9 into 9 goes 1, and then I have 1 0 left over, so the answer would be 10. Number 5, we got 5,140 divided by 75. So I'm thinking of the 7. If I make that an 8, 8 can't go into 51, 8 can't go into 52, 8 can't go into 50 or 49. So I can make this 70. So I look at my 7, I think, what can 7 go into evenly? Not 51, not 50, not 48, but it can go into 49 evenly. So I'm going to estimate 5,140 into 4,900. Now I go back and I get rid of there's 1 0 there, 1 0 there. 7 goes into 49 7 times, and I have 1 0 left over, so I just bring that up on top. So the answer would be 70. Now I want to make sure you show your work when you're doing this. You could possibly get different answers. We'll talk about it and see how if you came close to what we're doing. I mean, if you would have got 60 here and 48 over here, then that's way off. So you want to make sure you're pretty close to the numbers we're getting. Let's do one more.